My restless roaming spirit would not allow me to remain at home very long. That is Buffalo Bill. I am Justin, jersey number 14.
And I'm Corey, jersey number 72.
And I'm V, jersey number 69.
Hey!
Comment your jersey number below, and we will announce it, I guess.
Yes.
I feel like, we say
We
this
will
every
announce
week.
it, throw shade at you, give us your favorite athlete's jersey number. Give us a jersey number you fucking hate.
There you go. Yeah, we'll throw shade at it, whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
At this point, we're opening it up to the whole world. Just tell us what you want.
It'll be fun times indeed. And so from time to time, we go over logos, and, obviously we're more gear centric.
Yeah.
And, we did recently the NFL logos. We went through all the NFL logos, and lo and behold, I go through my email, or the Gear Freaks email, and I received an email from Luis, who we'll bring on here in a second. He goes, I did a rebrand for the Buffalo Bills. Maybe you guys want to take a look at it. And me
Absolutely
going, yeah, I do. Of course. So we're bringing in Luis today. Luis, how are you?
Pretty good. Thank you.
So I wanted to get this out here first. LuisPena.vd is the Instagram page that we're going to be looking at today. So if anybody wants to follow and check these out for themselves, they can do that. Are you on any other social media platforms?
Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah. I'm still hearing the clipping. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on, because I completely missed that whole portion after I say hi. So.
Oh.
No, you're good, man. Is there any, aside from Instagram, are you on Twitter? Do you have a TikTok or any other social medias?
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Now I could hear you well. No, I'm actually, in terms of social media, I've been only putting stuff in Instagram pretty much because, being more into visual industry, I guess. I don't really fiddle with any of the other social media unless, I found that they either have some article or news that they're promoting that it's from any of the topics that I actually want to hear or see about. So as of right now, it's only on the Instagram replay.
No, that's good, Luis. Keep it simple. That's what I always say. The less social media you're on, the less toxic your life is. The VD after your name on your IG, I'm assuming, stands for virtual design. How long have you been doing virtual design?
Oh, actually, it's from visual design, and it's basically, I took after that, after I did the master's in RIT here in Rochester, New York.
Oh.
And obviously, it was visual communication design, so I took it from there because before that, I did an undergrad on graphic design actually in Dominican Republic in the Caribbean. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, dude.
So let's...
Well, I'm actually from there, so I should have said that. I'm actually from Dominican Republic, and I moved here to the States, I want to say 13 years ago.
Okay. Uh-huh. We live in Virginia, dude, so that sounds awesome to us.
Yeah. So did you, not to pry too deep into your life, but is that what put you in Rochester? Is school?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay.
And after moving here, obviously a lot of things quite different from home. But the one thing that anyone can relate was sports, and that's obviously how it got entangled with U.S. markets, sports, and basically the Bills around here. So
yep.
That's where my interest came from, and here we are.
That's awesome.
So Rochester, basically a stone's throw from Buffalo.
Right.
So that, like you said, leads to your interest in the Buffalo Bills. If it's about 13 years ago, I think the Bills are in some weird gear at that point, right? I think you guys are.
Oh yes.
Maybe the CFLs,
like
the Aaron Schobels.
Yeah.
Well, when I first got here, I cannot tell you like I don't remember anything good from them. And basically,
JP
I
listening.
remember the one thing I remember. I think it was this coach Rex Ryan. I think it was, and he was coming into to Buffalo, and that was a big thing, and but everything sort of developed in a wacky way, anyways. After that, so he hasn't been good for as long as I've been here, and then we're being excited to find out 3 or 2 years in with this new program, they definitely kick in into a good gear. So it's definitely better to have something to cheer up, around this area. So
No, it definitely helps, and you got the Sabres who are off to a hot start in hockey as well.
right.
Are you a big hockey fan, or do you just strictly stick
Well,
with the
that's
Bills?
coming from Dominican Republic, it's we don't I didn't get to watch uh, too many different sports as you find it here. Like my
Right.
thing was obviously baseball because that's the the whole meal in DR. It's baseball, baseball, and baseball, and
Sure.
then here and there I will watch the European soccer leagues and whatnot. But when I came here, even though I had an idea, I didn't really appreciate neither football, neither hockey, and the many other sports like lacrosse and stuff like that that I you know been seeing regular here after I moved to Rochester. But definitely, I think I started with football. Trying to follow and understanding what it was about, and then hockey. I guess for the same reason as I wasn't a big fan of of the Bills when I moved here is that from the Saber side they haven't done that much in the years that I've been here, and
Right.
we even have here in Rochester a I think it's the second division team, the Americans,
Yeah, the
and I've
Rochester
gone
Americans. Yep.
right, and I've been there, watch your games, and it's a lot of fun, especially to go and watch hockey live. I mean, TV is really nice, but
Yeah.
live is totally
He knows what's
different,
up.
and I
Yep.
really appreciate that. So yeah,
So to swing it back to the Bills, um,
right.
I guess if you've only been here 13 years, you may not have, a favorite gear of theirs because although you have to admit, I know you've done this rebrand, but you have to admit that what they're wearing now, the white helmet and the current getups are infinitely better than the ones that they were wearing when you first started following the team. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, one of the things that even going back to when I started this project, the whole rebrand process. One of the things that I did appreciate is the fact that the person who designed the logo was back in 1973. I mean, the Flying Bison, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who designed it, which was an aerospace designer, which was sort of interesting to find that that was the background of the designer of the logo. The one thing he was able to accomplish, which I think still resonates today, is how clean and simple he he designed the logo.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were to evaluate that logo right now compared to like many of the not even sports brand but commercial brands, you will find that he pretty much hit the nail in the head in terms of the approach of keeping it very clean and basic, and in a way that still today like it's very relatable. At least you can sort of um, um, look at the logo and pretty clearly figure out what's going on. And that's something that I appreciate, even from design coming from 30 plus years ago. So
So before we get into your designs, let me ask you this: do
right.
you have a current favorite player or a favorite jersey number?
Not really. Like I do. Again, I do appreciate Alan and everything that he's been doing here obviously, being the quarterback, it's the first face that you relate to.
Right.
I think the one thing I like the Bills, and I don't know if it's obviously because being in a close market, nearby market, sort of resonates. It's that many of the other teams, player wise, they all look like and talk about, and they feel like business, you know. And when I see these players in this team, they sort of gel and look more like a group of friends, or you can say slash family. Even though at the end of the day it's business and it's all that, but I feel like they do give away this sense of being more of just players getting paid to play. In that camera, sorry, my English.
No, you're good.
I guess camaraderie, I think it is. It's really fun to watch, because you can feel like they are really giving everything they can to make the team better. So, I appreciate that more than the one, ex player doing everything, whatnot. So yeah.
Here I am. Like, I appreciate that answer more than you might think. Like, it should be about the team. Like I have that with the Mets. I don't really have a favorite Met right now. I have that with the Devs currently, even though Cap is probably towards the front. But
yeah.
All right. So let's.
Wait, you said the Mets?
Yes, I'm a New York Mets fan. Yes.
Ah. Sorry about that. I'm not laughing about that. It's just that, like I have family, even before coming here, I have family that lives in Queens, very like next to the stadium.
There you go.
And it's and I've been related to them, and I always hear about the Mets, obviously, because I've been a baseball fan since, like my favorite team back in the R when I was, after 6 years old, I think it was. I kind of sort of gravitated to the Atlanta Braves, and it was, you cannot. I didn't gravitate to them because the great teams that they were. I actually liked them because the tomahawk design and the colors, and that's it. And after that, I started following them. But since I became a fan of baseball, and then I hear my cousins talking about the Mets, and I got like, oh my god, like at least I have some positive things to talk about the Braves. But it's always like whenever we touch that point, it's like they come with me with this, heavy weight of bags of complaining. I go like, my god, you really need to have fun in something.
That sounds like Mets fans.
That is us. That is Mets fans. Yep. Yep. We couldn't even accept our 100-win season this year.
Yeah.
Couldn't even accept it. Like,
that was a tough loss. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna. That's so cool. It is really neat though to hear, like, because obviously I've got predisposed notions of the Braves because I'm a Mets fan. So,
right.
But it is neat to hear somebody got into them because of design, which is really the point of this show.
Absolutely.
So that's cool. All right, so we're gonna jump into some of your designs here, and currently this is the one that you sent me for on Instagram for the Buffalo Bills. Again, it's luispena.vd. It doesn't have the Enye. I assume maybe the Enye is in the name, but you can't put one on the Instagram.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that last part.
Okay, I think we're because we're sharing the screen.
Yeah.
Shoot. All right. Can you hear us again?
Yeah, definitely. I'm sorry about that. It's really.
It is not your fault.
Crazy how
It is absolutely. There's just a lot going on in my house right now. I know you have the link, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat so you can follow along with us. Or maybe this is where Corey and I have to get really good with our words
Yeah,
and
no,
descriptive.
it's all good. Yeah, because I'll filibuster while you do that, because already from the first picture that we're going to see, I like what I see a lot, and I'm definitely curious to see kind of what I do see.
I like the horn and the bee.
The horn and the bee is awesome in the Bills word mark, and there's also several. It looks like there's multiple slides here, so there's going to be some details to get into. But I love the word mark here to start things off, man.
Yeah, I like this a lot, and it looks like maybe you have it on a jersey or something. Maybe it's just a word mark towards the bottom. But I was excited immediately. So I want to say this before we hand it over to you. You told me that you rebranded the Bills,
Yep.
and I immediately scoffed because I like what the Bills have.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm willing to see it.
Right.
But I love what they're doing already. I don't know that you're going to be able to top it. But then I saw this. I was like, okay, so this guy's got something here.
Yeah.
So talk to us about this decision with the word mark here with the horn and the bee.
Right. So, and yeah, as you said right there, like going, when I started this project, I was like, okay, so it hit, COVID hit, and suddenly we all had time to sort of play around with other stuff. And one of the things I wanted to do was like, okay, let me do some sort of projects that I can actually engage in something that I really like and I always want to probably do, which is a professional sports team. And when I wanted to do with the Bills was more than redesigning the Bills just for the sake of doing it. I wanted to keep it as real as I could to what will happen if they decide to do something like this. And the first thing I did was basically I went back and tried to check, where they're coming from, meaning the design, the designer, trying to figure out what they were trying to do and all that. And at one point, my initial idea of okay, if you're gonna rebrand this, they have something as of right now that sort of works. So, why would you touch on that? So the premise was okay, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna enhance the whole visual language that they have right now, which is pretty limited. It's good, but it's limited. So, in the process of trying to come up with idea, one thing that came into my attention was that they did try to change the logo, and this was back. Let me see if I can get this right. This was back in 2000. They came up with a logo that, if you see it compared to the version of 1973, which is the current one that they have, you go like, oh, so this is why you don't messed up,
Mhm.
a completely fine logo, identity more than logo. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, so forget about, as a client, if I were to talk to them, I wouldn't try encourage them to do something too crazy or different. So from the bison perspective, I was like, okay, now seeing this the way it is, if I were to do some changes, okay, why would you do those changes? And a few things that came to my mind was one of the things that I don't completely love the current logo is that I don't know if it's based on the idea that from the background of the original designer being an aerospace designer is that the flying bison it feels really unnatural to me. And, um, one of the things I wanted to do was okay, let's put some weight into this majestic creature, I guess. And based on that, a few things started changing. Meaning, for example, if you compare their version to my version, um, one of the big difference is, the current one is flying, where mine is already has the two back legs on the ground, sort of giving weight in proportion to the animal. And going from there, then a few details that I want to incorporate, like the more clear eyes, or um, uh, hopefully like a little bit of the nose in there. Sort of mixing, because they also have a secondary bison that I didn't put in the presentation, but it's like an old uh, illustration as well of a bison, but it's more like a realistic bison. So when you compare those two versions, they are very different, and they're very, they respond to very different language. So
Yeah.
that was why I wanted to bring some of that reality of that version to the flying bison that they have right now. From there, again, a few details like more clear eyes, and the nose looks a little bit more clear as well. But the the overall shape of the bison, that I didn't want to change. The red stripe moving across the bison, showing movement, that I didn't want to get rid of, because those are essential parts of what makes this current logo pretty good. So,
Right.
and then going from there, one of the details I wanted to sort of clear out was the horn. And then, because right now what they have is the horn is mixed with the eye of the bison, so it's not
Yep.
very clear where the eye start
Oh yeah.
and finish, and where the horn does the same thing. So once I did that, I was like, okay, let me then take this to what I wanted to go, which was enhancing the the identity. And for that, I was like, okay, doodling around, figuring out a new lettering for the Bills typography, and that's when it hit me that I could integrate the horn into the B in a very clean, um, way, which could be link between each things. Because right now, they what they have for typography and their name is basically a serif font, and that's it. I
Hmm.
Yeah.
guess it responded to that old school of design in terms of sports, where they have a serif font and strong and all that, but more than that, it didn't do anything else with the logo, with the bison. So that disconnection, I tried to reconnect it and sort of make something special out of it. And my version, my typographic version, it isn't supposed to substitute the main logo. It's just supposed to enhance what they have right now. And that's why I don't know if you were able to see. Well, yeah, talk about it. You saw the helmet that I put there with the B on the side. Um, Again, when you see it, you go like, oh, this looks like a very interesting secondary version that I can definitely see working, because they are connected with the Bison illustration as well. And the way that bee falls into the side of the helmet, which is one of the things that I love the most, is that it gives the players horns. You
Hmm.
have the
Yeah.
Vikings as well doing the same thing, but apart from being just taken from the main illustration, it's not something too crazy, I guess. But having more than just having the horn there, but also having the bee as the bills, in there, I kind of feel like that gives it a little bit extra than just having a horn in the helmet. So when I got to that point, I was like, oh, this I really like where it came down to. I really like the two ideas married together, and then seeing it in the helmet, which is obviously what you're gonna see in the games and whatnot. I kind of feel like it really felt pretty well. So yeah.
Yeah, look, I love the horn and the bee, Luis. I love it. I think that's a great touch. I mean, it's kind of it's interesting to see that you chose red, because they were red very limited in terms of their time as a franchise, arguably through their best time as a franchise in the late '80s and early '90s. So it's
Right.
you've kind of become accustomed to seeing that white helmet back. So it's kind of cool to see the red back on a Bills helmet here.
Yeah, and it goes back to what you just mentioned. Like, it's one of the old looks. I think they, if I don't remember, they have done it in the last few years when when the NFL does like the throwback
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
theme
Hmm.
for a weekend. They will definitely have that. And in that version, they actually use it's just a red helmet, and then the bison. It's not even the blue red version. It's just like a complete red version of the bison. So
Yeah.
it's very distinctive, and I guess it's okay. But I feel like it's sort of, I don't want to say looks lazy, but then again, if you were able to now, like for example, with what I did was, okay, so if we were to get creative, why not to sort of explore an idea that I will actually be a little bit different from what we used to, and then it's probably creating a new classic. So I felt like using the red, and then because I also tried the blue. I got to tell you, like my mock-ups, I tried different versions. But
Right.
ultimately, the red, the that impact that it has, that energy that it gives, definitely way more powerful. If I were to use the blue as that background,
Right.
right?
Out of curiosity, you don't have any of the blue here. I understand it not being a blue helmet, but you didn't use any
Right.
blue like as an outline
Accents.
or an accent color. Was that by design, or did you just not want to include it? Or
You know, that's the one. You know how I don't know you guys, but when you do a project, you're working a project, 2 3 months after its launch, you go like, oh shit, I miss
no?
something here. And it happened to me with this and with what you just said here. Um,
Okay.
in the design that I put, it doesn't show up, but I did use
Hmm.
like a blue and white stripes going through the middle of the helmet from the front to the back
Okay.
to
Okay.
sort of and there's one image that's sort of, if you pay attention to it, you probably can figure out what I'm talking about. But after I was done, I was like, Jesus, like I almost wondering, not probably including the red bar motion element that they have in the helmet, but I did want to play a little bit with using blue in the outline of the bee, some sort. I don't know how would that, but after I was done with it and I did all my presentations, and I actually was like, geez, yeah, I probably could have pushed that side a little bit more and have blue integrated to the monogram, and that probably would have tied everything even more together. But yeah, that was one of the things that after I was done, I was like, yeah, I probably should have revised that and put that blue into the monogram itself.
Quick question. Why has nobody ever done a blue cage?
I was looking at that. I was like, a good place to work in blue here would be the face mask.
Yeah, like the cage
Um,
would look cool with blue.
but yeah, no, it absolutely would. I like it as white too. It definitely doesn't need to be red. It needs to be either white or blue.
I was just
Um,
thinking because you guys were saying there was no, like, you didn't see any blue,
yeah,
but that's the only
yeah,
thing I was thinking.
yeah. No, and that's the thing. It's. I was trying to picture the outline as you were talking about it, and I normally am very much in favor of outlines, but as I'm looking at it, I think you went the right route, Luis, because I think an outline, especially where the top of the horn uh, comes to the top of the B, it's they're kind of close, and if you put an
Right,
outline in there, it will look very jammed up. So I think you made the right call.
right, right, right. Yeah, and ultimately, again, this the whole concept behind it was to, again, sort of talking to the new audience and new you know
Moder-
fans, I guess,
Modernize
Right.
it a little.
meaning
Hmm.
making the brand a little bit, right, making the brand a little bit more, trying to have less but still, right,
Yeah,
trying
like
to have less
minimize.
and still have that strength and power behind the brand. So So for sure, keep it as simple was definitely a key idea that I wanted to, get through the whole project. So yeah.
You could basically make it say like less is more.
Yeah, I love this because it's that hoodie is sweet.
Yeah, I like the hoodie.
I like the hoodie a lot.
I love the word mark. This is a perfect blend of kind of exactly what you say in the caption. It's a great way to tip your cap to the last 30, 40 years of the franchise, but kind of tweak it to where it just gets a refresh going forward.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Right.
that. There's
This has
Yeah,
everything.
and sorry, and just to go after that thought right there was, you know, when the whole project started during COVID and all that, and that was primarily one of the reasons. But one of the things looking back at it, and when I started doing this was like, well, if this is gonna work, then you definitely have to sort of don't not forget about what the team has, the meaning that it has for so many fans,
Right.
with their classic style and all that. Because one of the reasons I pretty sure, and I don't know if you were able to Google quickly the 2000 version of what they tried to do. Like when you compare that, you go, well, yeah, you probably messed up because you completely, went behind an idea that completely disconnected the fan base with what they known till the moment. So no wonder why that rebrand failed. This is back when social media wasn't a thing
mm-hmm.
as strong as it is today, or
Right.
volatile as today. But I'm pretty sure, and I wasn't living here, but I'm pretty sure that was a very, very hard hit, to their marketing team or whatever. Because yeah,
Oh, sorry.
if I think I found the one you were talking about. Oh no.
yeah,
That is very, very, very 2000 though.
Yes, it is.
It's
It
very,
looks like
very
a
2000.
It looks like a college mascot.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
not mascot, but an emblem.
Like the Buffalo Bison or something, like University of Buffalo or something.
That looks like the Sabres of like the
Mhm.
mid to late 2000s logo, only just they changed it to gray instead of gold.
Yeah, it's very.
Yeah.
That's
B for basic.
a lot.
Right, right.
That is a lot. Glad they did not pull the trigger on that.
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, you compare that and you go like, well, it sort of makes sense. I didn't work because you guys completely abandoned whatever you had as
Mhm.
heritage and then just try to paste something in front of your jersey that didn't look at all like something that people were used to do. So
Right.
Totally.
Ooh,
I like that.
yeah, you did a nice little. That B looks sharp
I
on
love
on
the
the
B.
on
Uh-huh.
the stadium.
That looks
Yeah.
like something you'd remember as far as like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You happen to be driving by on the highway or whatever. Yeah, I think
That looks nifty.
yeah,
yeah, the B and the refresh of the word mark, just the Bills spelled out look fucking good, man.
You did good, sir.
They look really good like that because that's
Oh,
perfect.
thank you.
That's exactly what it is now. Only it's refreshed. It looks way more modern and it looks more updated because they've had the same word mark for Christ since Jim Kelly was there.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
right.
All right, so let me switch back to us here real quick
Hello.
before we let you go here, Luis. Um,
Yep.
So have you done any other teams, or was the actually let me go back because this was a presentation you made. Did you present this to? Did you get a chance to present this to the Bills, or just was this like for school or something?
that's that, that's a good question because when I was done with the project, the way I thought it was done, I told myself, hey, like you have this already, and you sort of put a few amount of hours into it. It wasn't just me coming up with ideas and just doing whatever I wanted. I actually went through the process of having my peers, meaning friends and people that I know that like the bill, and whoever I find, uh, in my daily task, and I would be just excited to ask people like, "Hey, are you a Bills fan?" And I would just ask them quickly if they
Right.
like this or
Mhm.
not. And I start realizing that even the Bison update, they were like, you know what? I can relate a little bit better to that because I can see the whole Bison even more clear. Many other reasons. And then after that happened or started happening, and I see the how people were really excited about that. Like they were asking, "Is this happening?" I go, "No," but in my
Do you
mind was
want
like,
to?
"It should happen though." And so being a digital world is, I did try to linked wise, and other methods to sort of get into their marketing team, especially.
Hmm.
And I started googling who were they, and I found them in LinkedIn and other medias, and I sent them the presentation because I was like, you know what, the worst thing that can happen from this is that they either tell me no,
Mm-hmm.
or if for some God sake reason something comes out after I sort of show them the project, and something similar comes out of that. Not the Bison, 'cause the Bison, you know the Bison, or the version of the Bison that I is something that they can clearly come up with.
Mm.
Because they can do that. It's their own thing and can do whatever they want. But the one part was interesting to see if in the future it happens was around the bee specifically in that
Mm-hmm.
link. And but yeah, I did try. I don't know how many ways to get through and see if for some reason I could get a reply from someone in the Bills side, but it never really happened, and it hasn't happened yet. So at this moment, like at first when I was trying to do that, I didn't even have the project public. I had it for my own phone and my computer, and then when I pretty much exhausted every way that I could in order to get a response from them, then I published it on Instagram because I
Mm.
was like, you know what,
Get
I
it out there.
did
Yeah.
I did everything I could, and at this moment, if they haven't said anything, you know, it's from their side, I'm pretty sure that they're not gonna, because I give them like plenty of time in secrecy to sort of see like if I get any response, but
Yeah.
nothing happened. So the last thing I thought was like, you know what, I'm gonna do for just to create this some sort of crazy story or whatnot. I was gonna figure out how much would it cost to get a few billboards in. Sorry, let me get some water.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
you
like
do that.
get some, and not even some. Like if I could just get a billboard, an electronic billboard for one day to show like something related
Mhm.
to the project that gives the idea that this is the new, with the whole new team, new stadium expectation. Uh,
You'd pressure them.
if you give a glimpse of something new with the Bills logo or something like that, the only thing that can come from there it's fun stuff. Meaning, I either get people follow me and get into the project and my work and all that, or I get a letter from the Bills or the NFL. Hey,
Please stop.
what are
Yeah.
you doing there?
Yeah. I think
Cease
that's
and
what
desist.
bothers me the most is they didn't even bother to send you a damn T-shirt, dude.
Yeah. Right.
well, well,
Some stickers,
I'll tell
something.
you what though, and I'll tell you something, and I can understand why I haven't received even a tweet,
Acknowledgement.
let's say,
Yeah.
from them. And it goes back to, I remember, funny enough, it happened to Atlanta Braves. And this is a little, I don't know if you saw this, been like 2 3 years ago, I think, I want to say, but some kid in Georgia designed a letter of Atlanta Braves, and they pretty much, instead of having the, in the A, the horizontal line that goes between the two diagonal lines,
Mm-hmm.
he used the tomahawk, the Atlanta Braves tomahawk, to connect the A in the middle. Sorry about that. And it was a painting, and he sent it to them, even though, sorry again, when they came back to him, the one response he got was like, "Hey, we cannot use." But what happened? Later, they did have something similar to that, so they were entitled to a lawsuit from the kid, and the whole mess started from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can understand, once I read that story and I was doing this, I was like, it makes sense that no one from their department is able to, even if they already saw the presentation, because believe me, I did send this to a couple of their contacts, and I sent them the PDF.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that's one of them probably saw it, and hopefully, if anything happens, happens. But as far as I'm aware, I'm not sure that they're gonna to me regarding this project. So but it's like I know if you guys are fans of The Office, Micah Scott had a quote like, "You miss I don't know how many
100% of the shots you don't
of
take."
the shots that you
Yeah.
right.
That's
so
right.
so when I did that, I was like, you know what, you're not missing on anything, really, if you keep it for yourself. So
Yeah.
why not as well share it and see if something does happen.
Right.
So, yeah.
Worst that can happen is life goes on, man.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So one last question before we let you go, Luis.
Yeah.
What's your jersey number? Do you have one?
For myself?
Yeah.
Like when you
No,
played
if
in high
that
school?
right, if that would be, I will be 16.
Hey, number 16, Luis.
Yeah.
I like
All
it.
right,
I
all
like
right.
it.
Yeah.
Luis,
And,
Our first jersey shout
there
out.
is definitely very enormous reason behind it, going back, my time during school and in DR sports, that I was always
mm-hmm.
into, meaning I was always into one of the teams playing either soccer, baseball, or volleyball. So about 16 was always the number that gravitated. So
Joe Montana rocked number 16.
Yeah, dude.
That's a good
There
one.
you go.
That's a good one. I like that one. All right, Luis, I appreciate you. And it was Luis Pena Designs on Instagram. You said that was the only platform people can find you at currently?
right. Yeah, the pretty much basically on Instagram, just again, keeping it simple.
Mm-hmm.
And
There you go.
I do also have a website, but it's primarily for another aspect of my career, I guess. The Instagram page, it's a mix of real work that I've done and I'm doing, and some other stuff that I like to experiment with. So
There you go.
definitely, if anyone is interested in following and reaching back to me, it's always appreciated.
Well, there you
And
go.
and guys, thank you a lot for allowing me to be with you guys. As I told you, like I was actually looking away, getting this Bills presentation more out there, expose it a little bit more. And I found you guys on Reddit, because there was a topic regarding sports team logo, and your YouTube channel came through the links of someone saying like, "Hey, check this guys,
Yeah.
talk about this and whatnot." And I was like, "Oh, perfect, in my alley of to talk about." So it was perfect.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much, Luis.
Yeah.
Thank you for sending them to us, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Most
And
definitely.
Yeah, more than happy to share it and have the feedback. And I sort of I wasn't sure what was coming out of this, meaning I sent you guys this, and I was like, I wonder what they're gonna, they're gonna come back to me saying, "Oh my God, this guy! Like, how do you do this to such a emblematic, at least visual wise, brand and all that. And uh, what I feel is that you actually sort of saw it, like something feasible or something from the real that could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
most
yeah.
definitely.
Oh yeah.
If
And that
anything,
and that was the whole goal of the project, not being, you fantasize a little bit of what you can do, but when you try to constrain yourself to limitations of, how would this work with the real client,
yeah,
the real people that follow the team, then things get a little bit more hard to work around. I'm
Right.
really happy that you guys sort of saw it that way and appreciate it.
yeah. If anything,
Absolutely.
it enhances their brand, and that's what you wanted to do at the end of the day.
Yep.
Yep. Well,
Correct. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much for your time, Luis. Have a great night, and next time you design some team logos or something, send them our way.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Please.
Sure. I am and so I will definitely have it on my mind for the next project. So thank you guys again, and appreciate the time.
Yeah, man.
Anytime.
Absolutely,
Have a
brother.
great
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you. Good night, and I'll see you around.
Yes, sir.
All right, Luis joining us with his rebrand of the Buffalo Bills. Pretty freaking cool, man.
Those are cool.
Yeah,
Those are
they were
cool.
cool.
And how about him being like a beacon of positivity there at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Totally.
that's always nice.
That's so cool. Like,
And his
And-
jersey number is number
number 16.
Yeah, that
Luis,
was-
number
I was about to
16.
say
I
number
like
12,
it.
but that wasn't
Yeah,
right.
Pretty freaking cool. Pretty freaking cool. I'm geek, man. Like I think that, technical stuff aside, that was really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, it
that
was
was
fun
neat.
to take a deep dive. And I mean, look, for anyone else out there, and huge shout out to Luis for sharing that with us. If there is anyone listening or watching this that does anything similar, shoot it over to us because we'd love to talk to you as well. That's what the hell this is supposed to be.
We talk enough trash saying that we're going to tear it apart, but you saw we were positive. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're positive people at the end of the day, even if your stuff's trash.
Much like
kidding.
Luis. Exactly.
Whoa, no, not much like Louise. His
Well, no,
was good.
Luis was positive, is
Yeah.
what I was
Good.
saying.
It was
And
Luis is
he
positive.
all he
No, it's
did was
okay.
email
We went-
us. So I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like it really is that simple. Or if you just wanted to come talk gear, that's cool too. But
Yeah.
man, I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
that was fun. That was fun.
I like the positivity there on the way out. So I'm gonna spin this positive. Luis, where's number 16?
Suckers!
I gotta push the button. There it is.
Very nice.
Yep. Because I listen.